Good morning, friends, and welcome to Friday's edition of Weekdays in the Word. I'm coming to you from Statesboro, Georgia. Kim and I arrived here later today, and it's evening now. I wanted to record tonight rather than wait till in the morning. It's been an eventful day. We got up at 3 this morning and caught a flight at 6 o'clock out of Dayton to Chicago and Chicago to Savannah, and just returned from a big dinner for all of the visiting ministers at the conference, and great evening tonight. Tomorrow's a big day, first day of the conference, and we're looking forward to it. This is day number 7. I think yesterday morning I said day 5. This is day number 7 of our 30-day prayer challenge, 13.0. And month of March, I have designated a month of miracles. And we have certainly experienced miracles this week. I wanted to pick up where I left off yesterday. First, let me read Acts 8. I'll begin at verse 5. Then Philip went down to the city of Samaria and preached Christ to them. And the people with one accord gave heed unto those things which Philip spake. Now notice this, hearing and seeing the miracles which he did. For unclean spirits, crying with a loud voice, came out of many of them that were possessed with them, and many were taken with palsies, and that were lame were healed. And there was great joy. Somebody say revival. There was great joy in that city. I said yesterday, when people see the miracle working hand of God, they just naturally are drawn to Him. Who do you know that doesn't have needs? Who do you know doesn't have something in their family, someone who's critical? Someone with a long-term illness or an acute diagnosis, an issue, a problem, that they need a miracle. Just about every one of us knows someone or multiple people that need a miracle. When they see the miracle, then they know God is a God who answers prayer. James 5:16, the effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man avails much. Jeremiah 33:3, call unto me and I will answer thee. I want to tell you, for 13 months we've talked about a God who answers prayer. What a miracle we've had this week. I've told you about on Monday and Tuesday. Yesterday, I told you about the miracle in the Philippines from my good friend, Lisa Peretti. I want to recount that just briefly for this morning. I want you to understand this. Here's what I picked out of that story. This couple who pastored this church in the bush, Lisa said it was a very difficult church. Had a lot of problems when this couple took it. They have pastored it for some time, and their vehicle is a motorcycle with a sidecar. That's for the pastor's wife and their children. And she sent me a picture, and I wish I could show you this. They have a prayer board on the wall. And on that prayer board, they have a request for a vehicle. And they said, I read to you their text in their broken English, we had no big money. It was not possible. We had no big money. And it wasn't possible. But they prayed in faith and never stopped praying. It didn't happen just like I told you about the school for 13 months. I've had it on my prayer list, 13 separate prayer lists. Continue to pray, along with other needs. Many answered, many that I've kept on month after month, and will continue to do so. They kept praying. They kept it on the prayer board. They never gave up. The effectual, fervent prayer of righteous people makes a huge difference. And so here Lisa leads this team of students from Free Gospel Bible Institute to the Philippines for a mission trip. They raised enough money to take care of some projects. They never knew about this need of a car. They really, I'm sure, thought that whatever they raised, it would take every bit of it. Here's my experience of almost 50 years of doing mission work. However much you take, it's never enough. You always need more. So they took whatever they raised. They covered the projects that they knew, but they had $5,000 left over. That don't happen very often. That is different. But at the end, they sat together, the students and Sister Lisa, and she talked to them, what are we going to do with the leftover project money? Somebody spoke up and said, let's give it to the pastor and his wife. They can put it towards their car. They prayed and prayed, but they had no big money. Couldn't do it. In the foreseeable future, they could not see how they would be able to buy a car. But you see, the whole time they're praying, God is working. He knew how much money the projects would eventually cost. He knew how much they raised. The Lord helped them to raise more than enough. And He helped the budget to be worked the way it was. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they've got money left over. And in their heart, they want to direct it here. The end result, last Sunday, they had their car in front of the church, a little red vehicle of some kind, and laid hands on it and dedicated it to the Lord. I really felt like telling you this morning, please listen to me. You've been praying and praying. And over again, the devil told you, why don't you give up? It's hopeless. The Lord hasn't moved yet for that. He's not listening to you. This isn't in His will. You need to just give up. Move on. Well, I've heard that a lot lately. I'm going to just have to move on. And the whole time God was working. He was working, He was working. And here's this money that just happened to be left over. And here's these students that just happened to want it to go here. And just like that, their miracle come. Now they've got a car, paid for, done. Don't stop praying. I've said it over and over and over for the last 13 months. I'm going to continue to say it. Don't stop praying. You may be right on the cusp of your miracle right now. Don't stop praying. You must not give up. You must not stop. Please hear me. This is one of those mornings I know I'm talking to somebody. You are about to throw your hands up and quit. You're about to stop praying. You've tried to rationalize it and say, well, it must not be God's will. He would have done it by now. It just, I've wasted my time. I'll just move on to something else. I'll just forget about this. Don't forget about it. The reason you prayed and prayed is because it's on your heart, because you see the need. God's about to move. This is a miracle time right now. I'm believing God for you. Listen, your miracle's on the way. I believe He sent me to tell you this morning, Don't stop praying. Your miracles on the way.